this is a first of its kind project nationally. So this is our first mouse facility. As Lynn was saying, there's an opportunity for this to grow. Maybe it would make sense to do it elsewhere in the state, or even just grow this facility. Another point that AMBEC has done things. Our flagship project just after the inception of AMBEC was something called the New York Cancer Project. So 20,000 actively diverse New Yorkers from across the greater metropolitan New York City area and ranging around the state were recruited into a study to be studied longitudinally over 20 years. They gave health history, being followed, they gave samples, and that's a gigantic resource for researchers around the state who are able to access this information to use as controls in larger studies. And other things we have, there's a biorepository out of Northern Jewish. There is a bioinformatics core that's headed out of Columbia that's a shared resource for the state for the organizations within AMBEC. So this is one of a number of legacy and ongoing projects that AMBEC.
And how many members are?
We're currently 28 right now. What's that? So you would think in the city of Columbia, Cornell, NYU, Rockefeller, Einstein.
So you have all the names.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
We gave you the at-home institutions.
Yeah, we're happy to provide you with that specific information.
Two questions for you. How many people do you expect to employ?
We've done an estimate that it will be 80 to 100 people. And we've averaged salary, which is really a meaningless number because it's got high salaries and low salaries. We've averaged salary that will be between $45,000 and $50,000. That's an average number.
The second question is, do you have any successes and breakthroughs
In terms of
studies?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. You mean from the work that we've done?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Just in terms of this New York Cancer Project, we can show you 30 August publications, in August journals that access the sort of information that we've been able to provide as an infrastructure. So again, there's a good trail of success in that area.
When this was first announced a while ago, when AMBEC was coming, at the time you also said that the day that was announced, you started to receive calls from other research facilities because they don't be near AMBEC, just because it is such an important part of all the research. Is that something that's still continuing?
Very much so. And that was something I alluded to in the firms that bid to manage the facility, and the losers will come back in different forms. And in fact, Columbia has been here repeatedly seeking similar spaces and offshoot of this space. We anticipate that Columbia, who were with us just last week again, looking at adjacent space, will be almost the immediate next user.
I might add on to that this is specifically a breeding facility, a single use just to breed the mice. So the mice would be bred there and then be sent to different institutions where the research will be done. Now, it's contemplated, I'm sure, by individual members thinking about this project and how to capitalize on it further. Could we actually do research in areas like this? So there are services that we're not thinking about just because we're looking at this specific use. It's the most efficient way to do it. But there are services like genotyping, there are services like specific research type services that could be done as add-ons. So there would be followed.
Which is what we were hoping for, which is what I know you would.
Yes,
So
which
you
is what
expect
we've
it to
spent a
happen.
lot of time and money on design work
Right.
for, and we have to pin this anchor tenant, excuse me putting it in layman's language, but that's the anchor tenant until we have this supermarket.
Right.
The Lion shops have been all over the place.
Not to jump too far ahead, but you also recently purchased a property adjacent to that building.
Correct,
So
in
as-
anticipation that this will take off, and also that we will need extensive backup facilities, parking, and other use. So this is 470 in Anaheim Valley. We purchased 460 in Anaheim Valley for our extension capabilities at this location. It only makes
South end of that building?
And Valley, and then just directly south of the street along the old Carmel Foundation.
Right.
because once we're going to make an investment like this, with the IDA's assistance, but our own investment in this too, we want to have the opportunity then to make it a significant strategic location. That is why we have done that.
The one thing that I would add to that follows up on the point that we were just making is that The only similar project that we've ever seen to this that we try to use is something of a model, is something called the Toronto Center for Phenogenomics. It's an $80 million project in Toronto. So you can understand that the scale there is different than the project that we're talking about. Now, obviously, if we were dealing with those kind of numbers, we'd be looking at putting these research services in place. But that's why we're focusing really on this very specific single use.
So this becomes a very critical part of the beginning of growing the Effingham Valley into a very different kind of industrial center. In this case, medical research.
Yeah, we very much hope to be a part of it.
Back when the board members were not here a long time, he actually started, for New Frederick, was the pharmaceutical research company.
Right.
We tried to get more employees, of course, they left.
Back to the future.
You're back to the future.
Amazingly, they were doing mouse research in the exact space.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's an amazing piece of history that they were.
Well, this board knew that 10 years ago.
Yeah. And
Oh,
we,
is that right?
Yeah, that's something that I learned just recently. They were actually doing some in that space. So it's a great space for with all the natural light.
Well, the
So.
good news is that what we can do is follow a similar path until the point where they left you.
Right, exactly.
This time we'll be
We're
smart enough to
happy to
keep them
stay.
here.
and we apologize that this has taken so long to bring here. And I must tell you from my personal experience, we have worked over 5 years with Alex. Everybody on the board is an academic. Enough said.
If I can add one more thing to that, the Toronto program. The Toronto program took nearly 9 years to complete, so we feel like we're well ahead of that.
Yeah, let's keep it at 5.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
What kind of credentials do you employ to have to work to work at the center?
I'm sorry.
What kind of credentials employ to hire?
So one of the reasons that we've partnered with Taconic is that they are an internationally respected firm in this. They'll be the ones who are assessing those sort of credentials. We're not capable of doing that. We don't want to put ourselves in that sort of situation. So bringing on a prestigious firm like Taconic.
So what types of jobs?
Yeah, we're extremely mindful of the workforce because we know Yonkers very well, having been here a long time. That's one of the reasons why this is a suitable location. Yonkers has this broad spanning workforce from people who actually are Columbia graduates even, all the way to the people who will be involved in really transitioning careers into the biotech field. So we anticipate jobs right from the school leaving job level upwards. I have done this once before with the County Executive Thomas Swazi in Long Island, where we put together a consortium and their whole intention was to facilitate 2 things. People coming out of school and coming out of community colleges who are seeking a career, and people who need to change career because what they did has gone away. And we think there's an almost perfect match. There are few cities with this breadth of workforce.
Could you give us an anticipated time frame